see. So today we're testing smart contracts.
Sick.
Okay. How's it going, BK?
I just woke up. I'm having a water.
Yeah, same here. I got the I got some coffee though, so that's good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we'll see how many people join today, but probably just get started.
Dope. Yeah, Johan's on his way.
Oh, nice, nice. Maybe we'll wait a couple minutes. Might just be an LTF crew today.
Like, is there two labs every week? Like 8 to 9 and 9 to 10, or
Just
how does it?
8 to 9
Okay,
on
okay.
Fridays. Just on Fridays.
Yep, take over.
We've infiltrated the TEC. Hey,
We
Griff.
are one with the PC.
Hey.
Hey, Griff.
Oh no. Is the legal and the labs at the same time?
Is legal still going?
I guess so.
Oh, is this a time change?
Oh, yeah, dude. You know what? I even moved the lab time on the
Oh,
calendar.
should it be at an hour later then?
Uh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, well,
But if you have people here, I mean,
Hmm. Well,
it's up to you.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess we could. Hey, Livy.
Hello.
Yeah, I guess there's a time mix-up with the time change. Um, I guess we could just get started now. Maybe I'll make an announcement.
Cool.
I'll just post in the lab channel.
It's really up to you. I mean, does it right now on the TE calendar?
It's
And you know what? It says it's in an hour.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
maybe we should wait since this is testing the Hatch smart contracts, which is pretty important. Hey, Tonga.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like YGG. What's best for you? What do you prefer? Do you prefer to do it now?
I would prefer
Or
to
do you-
just go now.
Yeah, then that's what you should do.
Alrighty.
That's what I would say.
Can we move it in the calendar now, just in case anyone catches it?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But then tomorrow or next week, it'll jump back up. Let me see.
It can
Yeah,
be
next
at.
week it'll-
There's no problem actually if it's like an hour later. That's fine with me. That means I get to sleep in more.
Yeah, I would think. But then Europe leaps forward, and it would also follow the Europe time.
Yeah.
So it'd only be next week that you get to sleep in.
Oh. So after next week, Blair's gonna take over the labs and run a CAD/CAD. He's gonna do the CAD/CAD course collaboratively.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, sponsored by CAD/CAD Education.
Oh, that's super cool. Nice work, YGG. Nice work.
Well, yeah, Blair's been trying to put this together for a while, so definitely kudos to him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Livy, nice to have you in the labs. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just thinking that I might have to go to legal, but I'll stay here for a little bit.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you set up YGG, but I'll come back because I'm really excited about the lab. But I do have to check in, so I'll be
Awesome.
back.
Yep, good stuff, guys. Okay, so we'll get started. We're 5 minutes in. Usually we do a little bit of banter for a few minutes, but just so everyone knows, go ahead and scroll up to the labs channel under working groups. Lansky's trying to find us, I guess. Let's see. Can't mention him, not sure. Okay, so just so everyone knows, if you find the pinned messages in the lab channel, then there's a link to the Notion workspace. Okay, um, hmm. I guess. I
I'm
guess.
sorry, why did you
Mm-hmm.
for I missed telling Griff to move the calendar. I
That.
think I talked
Did you mention
with
something?
you.
I was totally oblivious. You know, these things happen. It's fine. Um,
Okay.
we'll get it all fixed up for next week. Do you guys see in the lab channel? I guess Lansky's trying to find the voice chat. He can't see it. Does anyone know why that might be? Is he? Maybe he's in the wrong server.
Oh, maybe he has to click on the start here and then click the check mark. Lansky, dude, I haven't seen Lansky in a while.
Yeah, the OG.
The OG, dude, that guy's a legend.
Yeah. um. Okay, I think he'll find his way. Hey, Johan, nice to have you. Heater, nice.
Hey, good
Awesome.
morning.
It was great. Okay. So I think Lansky will find his way in here. We don't want to waste too much time. Okay. So just so everyone knows, yeah. Find the labs channel. In Discord here, hit the pinned messages, and there's a Notion workspace for the labs. And go ahead and open up. You'll see near the top there, second link. We maintain this like attendance sheet. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Still trying to find pinned messages.
Yeah, pinned messages at the top right in the labs channel.
Okay.
Hey Lansky.
Dope. Hey, Lansky.
Hello. How you doing, guys?
Good.
All right, I was still in the DE and the token engineering, and not the token engineering commons.
Yeah, you missed the great migration.
Yep, totally. It's super busy lately. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's no problem. Nice to see you back. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone.
OG Cat days, man.
Yeah, the old CAD days. Ecosystem value flows.
That was like the cave ages.
What's cracking nowadays? I'm looking forward to catch up.
Awesome. Yeah, everything's changed. Yeah, it's amazing how things develop. Okay, guys, we're kind of behind. We're having too much fun. So I just want to make sure everyone. So Lansky, to remind you, hit the labs channel, and then there's a pinned message, and there's the Notion workspace. So see if you can find your way to the attendance, and sweet. We got BK in here. Okay, so yeah, if you're new to the labs, anyone who's new, go ahead and add a new row, and then pick out. Oh, I've got to expand this. So let me go insert. Insert left, and just pick your favorite emoji. I usually just go to getemoji.com, or you can copy one of the ones that are already in the sheet. But I'm going to use the heart today. Feeling pretty passionate. Cool. Okay. Johan, how's it going?
I'm still trying to find it. I'm sorry. The pinned messages, it's not showing up.
Okay, so are you in
Yeah.
are you in the labs voice? I mean the text channel. You can
The which channel?
labs. You can share your
Labs?
screen too if you want.
Okay. Sharing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've been trying to find that Notion page for like the last 10 labs. I gotta update my attendance, man.
Okay. Where am I? Do you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Scroll up.
Okay, I'm here.
I think you got confused. There's two. Yeah. So that was the voice channel, and then up above, or no, you're down here.
In
work-
workspaces.
Yeah, you passed it a couple times. Go up again. Right here,
Beautiful.
and then pinned. Yep. Exactly.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No problem. That's great. Okay. So once
So
you,
today is lab 14.
I think so, yeah. Actually, it's
Holy
15.
shit.
There's actually been a discrepancy. I gotta get the indexes right. But on Notion, I think it's actually lab 15. Yep. So let me just open this up. So today we're testing hatch contracts. Cool. And good. So you guys can find the attendance sheet. Pop in your information in there. Nothing's mandatory. Maybe just some sort of tag. But you can also add your socials so that people can contact you. Um, and then you'll find the calendar in Notion under the attendance sheet, and this is sort of where we keep the workspaces for the labs. So we've got lab 15 going, and we're gonna open up this forum post that I posted the other day, and it's the state of the hatch, and there's basically a need for tests right now, and so we're gonna see what we can do when it comes to running tests, maybe even writing
Now
tests.
I'm lost. Where's the blog post?
I'm just linking it in the Notion
Okay.
page for today.
All right, cool. Got it.
Sweet. So once you get that open, let's see, it kind of outlines what really needs to be tested. So needed for the freeze. So what we're trying to do is freeze the contracts for the hatch. And what we need to do to get there is first the hatch is going to be launched. And for any of you who are new to that, there's a link here to the hatch TLDR. It has this awesome architecture. And the hatch DAO is going to launch first. So remember, this is a two-phase DAO. So first comes the hatch DAO, which has a simple voting mechanism. I think it's called dandelion voting, or I think they've changed it to disputable voting, but it's a simple voting mechanism. So based on your TEC tokens, you can vote, and then that DAO is going to be used to, in a decentralized way, vote for the actual the bonding curve and conviction voting parameters that are going to launch into the full TEC commons. So it might sound kind of complex, but for anyone who's new, if you just hang around here long enough, you'll hear Griff explain this enough times that it starts to make sense. But we're going to actually, this is coded up in smart contracts, and we're going to see if we can run them today, and then maybe even write a test. We'll see. We'll see how far we make it. So what's happening first is the Hatch DAO is being launched, and then there's these smart contracts called migration tools, and these migration tools are going to take the reserve pool from the test hatch, because there's going to be a fundraising component in the, not the test hatch, but the initialization hatch. The hatch DAO is going to have a funding pool component, but that funding pool is going to get migrated into the funding pool of the bonding curve when the bonding curve launches. So we need these migration tools that actually have access to those pools, those funding pools, and can migrate them from the old DAO to the new DAO. So this has been written by an organization called the Commons Swarm, which is a sort of hybrid organization between the Commons Stack and the TEC and OneHive. So these are new contracts, so they need to be tested, and we want to get tests written for them before they get sent off to the auditors to be audited and frozen. So we're going to see if we can run them today. We also need to write tests for the hatch itself, and so I think that's where we'll start. And we have an example of a test here. So the hatch opens, people contribute tokens to the hatch. Impact hours get claimed. The hatch closes. Now everyone who claimed impact hours has TEC tokens. And then we want to think about using the migration tools to migrate into the next level of the DAO. So let's open up this repository. Okay, hatch template by the Commons Swarm. Okay, so this is our job too. There's no instructions here. This needs to be done. So let's see. Oh, here's some instructions. Sweet. Okay. Oh, this is for scaffold ETH. Let's see if there's different branches here. Nope, just one branch. Okay. So we got to figure out how to run this. That's our first mission. Probably we can figure something out from the scaffold ETH documentation. Maybe I'm probably gonna lean on Nico a little bit in this call because he's always deploying smart contracts. So
Yeah. So to run what, like scaffold ETH?
no, this hatch template, which I think is built from
Oh,
scaffold
okay.
ETH. So let's. I'm gonna clone this. And I do encourage anyone to follow along. You don't have to. You can just watch too. But if anyone wants to really follow along on this on their home machine, that's encouraged. And if you hit any snags or problems, just let us know, and we can slow down, or different people can share their screens. So I'm going to jump into my workspace here and git clone this. Oop. Hatch template. Okay, so usually with any sort of
Yarn chain, yarn deploy, and
install.
then yarn start. Yeah, it's like yarn. Wait, just yarn, not yarn install.
All right, let's document this on the README too. Oops.
Yep.
Okay. Oops.
Oh, it is yarn install. Oops.
No, yarn works. It's going.
Cool.
Hatch template. Oops. I'm just having an issue with my keyboard here. Not able to make backticks. Why can I not make a backtick? Maybe it's a Vim thing. Weird. Okay. How to run yarn. Yeah, I'm trying to make a backtick here because you can make a code snippet in Markdown, but my keyboard's doing something weird. Not able to make a backtick right now. Oh, it's just hiding it. I probably have some sort of Vim plugin. There we go. Too many Vim plugins. Okay. Okay, so that finished. That took just over a minute. Okay, so seems like there's some sort of error. It's talking about this, what is this? Node JIP. I've seen this so many times. It's anyone know what
Run
that
yarn
is?
again or yarn install? Yeah, this happens to me sometimes. But if I just run yarn, then it shows that everything's all good.
Already
Yeah.
up to
So
date.
then do
Okay.
yarn install too, just in case.
Just to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
go. Okay.
So we have the dependencies installed, and so anyone who's not familiar, maybe most people on this call would. So what this does, it creates this node modules directory and grabs all the node dependencies. So we can see that here. We have all of the libraries now that we depend on. So we have our dependencies installed. Actually, we can cheat. We can look at the package.json, right, to see all of the scripts available. Okay, so there's so many. That's because this project, I think, is forked from Scaffold ETH. So we have all sorts of utility functions available to us through Scaffold ETH. But
Yarn chain.
what is it?
Yarn chain.
Yarn chain.
Yeah, so that'll run Ganache. Cool. And then in another one, in another tab, just like yarn start should do it.
Okay, compilation finished successfully. Creating type chain artifacts in directory type chain for target ethers v5. Successfully generated type chain artifacts. Deploying hatch template. Deployed at with this many gas. Cool. JSON RPC server. So what is all this? Aragon contracts. Neat. So I guess these are all the dependencies. Let's take a look at the contracts. We have packages. Okay, okay, so this is made with hard hat, and we have contracts. Okay, here's the hatch template. Okay, so these are all the dependencies, I guess. We're depending on Aragon base template. So for anyone who doesn't know, Aragon really is huge like legacy in the DAO space. So Aragon created a platform that enables anyone to launch a DAO quite easily, and there's a link to so Aragon Black fundraising. This is the main template that the TEC is adapting for their bonding curve launch. Actually, in here we have, I believe we have contracts for a bonding curve that initially comes from Bandcore. So it's really cool in this like whole DeFi and DAO space. You can like track the legacy of where things come from, because I guess Bandcore, which is it's not even Aragon. So like this is going way back to 2017. Bandcore, I think, made one of the first implementations of the bonding curve, and they've come a long ways since then. But they also made automated markets. They made like AMMs way before they were cool, way before Uniswap, which is essentially their bonding curves. But so they have all these services available: data, governance, vote, fiat. Okay, so they have these automated markets on Ethereum. And it's funny that no one ever really talks about this, right? Like everyone knows about Uniswap, but Bandcore, it has been around quite a bit longer. I don't know. I don't really know why Bandcore is not so popular as a platform.
Bancor had some issues early on. They promised a price floor. They had a $150 million ICO, and I feel like a lot of people kind of this isn't all about tech. These are socioeconomic systems, and people lost a little bit of trust. Not necessarily for good or bad reasons. It's just stuff happened. They made expectations that they didn't uphold to, and now people don't look at them as much because a lot of people that bought into the ICO, and a lot of people did, they promised a price floor, and the price floor was broken in the bear market. So
wow.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Nice to have Griff in here. He's lived through it. He's got all the war stories. Nice. Thanks, Griff. Yeah, I was just talking about how it's so interesting to track the legacy of how these things evolve.
Yeah, and Aragon fundraiser, the fundraising app was amazing, but I think they got a little over technical and didn't focus enough on UX, and so OneHive took the Aragon. They had this batching system that would prevent front running effectively, but the batching system created a horrible UX where to buy you had to click like 3 different. You had to. It's kind of like ENS. If you've ever registered an ENS name, you kind of have to wait. You have to approve, and then you have to wait. You have to click these 3 buttons, and it takes like 5 minutes to buy into a bonding curve. So OneHive said, you know what? Hey, front running sucks, but we'll just do the slippage thing that Uniswap does, and then improve the UX. And so OneHive took the fundraising app, made it into the marketplace app for the original gardens, but then abandoned the bonding curve because they thought that legal strategy. The legal strategy required to pull it off wasn't congruent with the values of minimizing legal interactions. So they just decided to abandon it and go with issuance. And now the Common Stack and Common Swarm is picking it up. There were a few other projects. The Galt project picked it up for a while, but they didn't end up really doing anything much with it. and now the Commons Forum is taking it for the Commons stack and the Commons template.
Cool. Yes, that's awesome. It's nice that we're picking up the torch from OneHive to implement the bonding curve that they never could because of legal, or because of their not because of legal, but because of their what did you say, like their mandate, I guess, to minimize legal
Yeah,
interactions. Yeah.
exactly. They felt it was difficult to have a legal strategy that was congruent with their values.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
but we solved that with the two-phase hatch.
The two-phase hatch and the trusted seed.
And
so
the trusted seed.
All the people who are going to be hatchers initializing the bonding curve have to be legal members of a Swiss association. So, and that will protect them as individuals from any kind of issues.
Yeah, there's so much innovation happening in the TEC. Like don't sleep on the legal team. They're pushing just as hard as the tech team. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so back to the land that makes sense. So yeah, we see all the imports here. So importing from Aragon base template, safe math. You'll see this all over the place in smart contract land. OneHive apps, Dandelion voting. So this is the initial voting mechanism that's being launched with the Hatch DAO. Redemptions. So I'm guessing this is the ability for someone who sort of co-vests, we call it, or mints TEC tokens during the DAO hatch to redeem. Or is this different? Yeah.
No, it's the rage quit mechanism.
Okay, cool.
And
yeah.
And it's also applicable for people with impact hours. So if you have TEC hatch tokens in any way, then you can redeem them.
Awesome.
You can rage quit.
Hey, if any of you guys are wondering, like where to get the repo from, I think it might be in the Notion, but I just sent it in the labs chat just in case.
Yeah, if you guys make your way to the forum post, it has links to all the necessary repos. But this one's the hatch template. Yeah. Thanks, Nico. Okay, so what's happened here? We've so we ran one command, which is yarn chain, and this has, so I guess this is from scaffold ETH, is that right? So does this compile the contracts and run a local chain and deploy them?
So I'm not sure if the yarn chain actually worked, because what yarn chain does is it just it runs like Ganache. So maybe I think maybe like if that didn't work, maybe you could try just running Ganache and then doing yarn deploy.
I think it worked. Look, we have, these are all warnings. These are just warnings. It says deploying hatch template. It gives us a transaction ID, and it says deployed at this address, took this much gas, and it has the RPC server. So we got a chain running, so we should be able to interact with these contracts to some extent. So is what usually comes next after yarn chain is just
yarn start.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you explain? So it deployed a contract. You're on a local Ganesh?
Yep.
And so you deployed the hatch template. So this is what it took to deploy the actual hatch. Like you deployed.
Yep. With two.
That's what you deployed.
With two commands. All you had to do. We just did yarn, or yarn install. Same thing. This just installed all the dependencies, and then once those were installed, so that creates this directory here, node modules, with all of the like JavaScript and Solidity dependencies. And then we just go yarn chain, and this is, I believe this comes from, it's like wrapping hard hat. Let's get to the bottom of this. This is either from just scaffold ETH.
Yeah, that's from there.
And I think which is then wrapping hard hat.
And then yarn chain just automatically deployed the actual hatch, the full hatch, and it only cost 7.5 million gas to deploy the hatch and the DAO.
Seems to be the case.
That's amazing.
So yarn, is it yarn start then? We should get, if there's some sort of front end. Okay, cool.
That's just about 7 million US in mainnet right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's see. That would probably be about $700 on mainnet.
No, well, it depends on. Is it?
Gas price.
Eve gas station.
I was assuming gas of 100, but 189 would be even worse.
Polygon.
Polygon XDAI.
Oh yeah, we're going for XDAI. Yeah.
Honey. Honey is money.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what do we do with this? Divide by like.
So it'd be gigaway, and then you multiply it by the price of ETH. So divide by 1 billion, I think.
Yeah, 1.4 ETH. Is that right? It seems about right. Ballpark.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just go to MetaMask and do it, and then cancel the transaction.
Mm.
Or even look at an Etherscan transaction and just do the math from there.
But this is a whole deploy. Okay, so we got the chain running. We've launched the local app. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so this looks like pretty much your default scaffold ETH. So I don't think there's necessarily a front end to the hatch deploy. This is just leftovers from scaffold ETH. So I think we're gonna be working in the back end here. So it looks like everything works. I mean, that's a good sign. Let's take a look at. I think there should be some tests. The point is to write tests, and let's see what we got here. Who can find the tests? Oh, test. Hatch.ts. Cool. I'll also. We should have the README open. So, whoops, not that one. README. So it was Okay, so yarn start, it's really just 2 commands. Yarn start I don't think is necessary because we don't actually have a front end here. So it's really just these 2 commands to get everything running locally, which is pretty cool. And so let's, I think this is the test file. Yeah, this is, so in Hardhat, I think this is the main development space. Then we have test. So packages, Hardhat, test. We have these helpers here. Maybe let's check that out. Hatch states, helpers. So we can calculate rewards. Let's see, given impact hours, given the total raise, and given the balance, looks like we're going to return the balance multiplied by the max rate. So I think this is an impact hour rate. Okay, so it's balance times max rate divided by .div. This is just 10 to the 18. This is just like ETH. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with Solidity code that much. So there might be someone on the call that sees something that I miss. But multiply by the total raise and divide by total raised dot add expected raise. So I guess we have some complex math here, and this is exactly getting to why we're here. The contracts can benefit from all sorts of documentation. So I guess like in the README file, we could reference this line of code and just write out explicitly like in math what it's doing. That's the kind of work that needs to be done, and there's lots of sort of anyone who wants to jump on this project, just let me know, shoot a message. There's some dev channels that you can join where people would be happy to support anyone who wants to help out with the documentation. But this is just a helper function, so this is not even the core contracts. These are just sort of helper functions for the tests. But they'll maybe help us ration through what's actually happening. So we can calculate rewards. Get contributors. Cool. So it looks like this. So async token address. So it takes a token address and fetches from the graph. Oh, look, it's reading from xDai. Aragon tokens. Token holders. That takes the first 1,000 token holders where token address. So we just give this thing a token address. So that could be any token. It could be xDai, the xDai token, and it's going to give us the first 1,000 token holders who hold xDai. So that's kind of interesting. But we could also do this for the TEC token, I imagine, and we'll get all of the hatchers in that case. So claim rewards. We're gonna pass impact hours and impact hours token, like a snapshot of the impact hours token, which is the mini-me token. And we're gonna process 10 at a time. Oh, so this is the claim rewards function. Okay, so we're gonna process 10 at a time. We're gonna get the contributors. Oh, nice. So we're using this get contributors function, and we're passing in the impact hours token. So right now, for anyone, I know there's a couple sort of new people in here. It's really there's a lot to learn here, but you'll just pick it up as we go. And one thing to know is how the TEC works is right now it's called the cultural build. There's just so much development and building happening that isn't necessarily the technology. Like there's a lot of strong devs building out these smart contracts. They need people like us to help them test. But there's also so much other development going on, just like process and documentation and narrative and communications and legal and all this sorts of stuff. So people get rewarded with impact hours to track how many impactful hours they're putting into the project. And the way that's done, it's a really cool, unique system. It's the praise system. And so throughout the TEC, you can cast praise to anyone. And all you got to do is join the. Actually, we can cast praise right here in Discord, right? So, Griff, maybe you can. It's been a while since I. Can I? Do I need to be in this?
You can do it in any channel. You can do it in any channel.
Wow. So, okay, I would like to praise everyone in this call, but maybe I'll just I'll go back and praise everyone after this. But it's something like this. Dish praise.
Actually, for Discord, it's just praise. Ooh, and let me make sure that you're a praise giver, because there is a. It looks like Discord, but I'm not in. I'm in Discord, but I'm looking at your screen.
Oh yeah, fooled you.
Yeah, you got me, dude. Let me just make sure that you're a praise giver. Yes, you are. Okay, so it's just exclamation mark praise, and then that's it. There's no the Telegram bot used to be a lot more restrictive, but if you do exclamation mark praise, you can't screw it up. Any handle in the praise will reward the person praise.
Wait, what was that last part?
Any handle in the praise. So like, you know, even though you do dish praise, but if you do dish praise, Griff, or exclamation mark praise Griff for this in my with Tonga and these other people, those other people would also get praise.
Okay, let's try it.
You can put the handles anywhere inside the text.
Okay, let's get everyone in here. Tonga, I know we got Nico in here. We got Lansky. We got BK. Oh yeah, I think Barch, is Barch in here? Let's see. I thought I saw there's another.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Awesome. Okay, we've got Magali, I think. Yep. Oh yeah, here. So Johan.
Peter and Johan and Magali. And if you got Tonga already.
Peter. I got Tonga.
Nico.
Yeah, did I get Nico? Yeah. Anyone not see their name?
And you.
Okay.
You gotta praise yourself. Self-praise is very important.
BK. Oh,
you
yeah,
deserve.
Yeah.
Normalizing self-praise. I'm on a mission for this.
Cool. So now everyone on this call is going to have impact hours. And so what that means is they'll be minted on the XDAI chain. So you can see that I have some impact hours here. And what that allows me to do is all sorts of cool stuff. I can go to token log and vote on GitHub issues. Like there's so many cool things you can do with impact hour tokens. But you'll see in the contract here what's going to happen is it's going to use this get contributors. So this is super cool. Look at this. Get contributors, and it's taking in the impact hours token address. So it's going to get everyone who holds impact hours, which are all the contributors, and it's going to calculate the total let's see, contributors length divided by, okay, so it's going to take, this is like a batch size, because it's going to do, oh no, the batch size is 10, and then this is how many batches there are. And for each contributor, by, it's just doing these batches. There's just like a lot of extra code here. And then it does this impact hours dot claim reward. What is that impact? Impact hours. Where does this come from? Oh,
so there's because the way crypto works in general, you can't just initiate a transaction. So someone has to come and claim these rewards, and I believe it's done in batches of 10. So a hero has to come in and actually click this transaction, and then it will distribute to up to 10 people their TECH tokens for their. So yeah.
So someone has to click through this, and it'll be 10 at a time.
Yeah, and so there will be a button that's like claim rewards for you and your friends. Yeah.
Cool. So yep, and then it logs total impact hours claimed. Nice. I'm super excited to actually run this. I wonder if we can jump into the console. Let's see what the actual tests look like. Let's see. Hatch flow. Just cool. Let hatch context. What's hatch context? From scripts, new hatch. Yes, this is important. So let's just take a moment. So this is kind of all the development process here in Hardhat. Yep, we have this scripts directory. Okay, so in scripts we have new hatch.ts, and this is sort of the configuration file for the hatch. So I think this is I saw it being referenced in the code. It's called the hatch context, which makes sense. It's kind of taking all the parameters and all the context about this hatch, and it's going to plug it into wherever it needs to be. So we have like DAO ID. Okay, so the test TEC, because right now it's still in testing mode. Network argument, the DAO ID. Okay, what do we got here? Network DAO ID, block time. And then it looks like these are all the parameters that it takes. That's cool. They're all here in one place. So the org token name, token symbol is going to be like TECH for tech hatch. And then these dandelion voting parameters and impact hour token address. Let's see. And then all the hatch parameters. So the minimum goal, minimum raise goal, maximum raise goal, the duration of the hatch period. Or no, yeah. Hatch period. Okay, the exchange rate, so that's how many tokens are going to be minted, etc., etc. So these are extremely well documented across the TEC forum, and maybe I'll just take a moment to link to that as well in the Notion. So if we go TEC, let's see, forum, yeah, and you just go right to the tech, and we have the hatch. So you can learn in great detail basically how every different component works and all the parameters, how they're set up. So we're kind of in a position now, we have all this amazing documentation throughout the forum, and then we have the actual code, but there's like a middle ground where we need some documentation that's closer to the code. So kind of like in the readmes and stuff like that. So all this stuff is accessible. It's really just going through the forum, going through the code, and synthesizing into readmes. But let's see. Let's see if we can actually play with this a little bit. So I'm gonna kill this front end. I don't think we need that. Scaffold ETH. Austin Griffith, superhero. But that's another story. So let's see. Either we want to play with this in the console, or we want to actually run the tests. Anyone know how to do that? How do we run tests? We have this.
Try yarn tests, if not that truffle test inside of hard hat.
Hard hat test. Look at this. Hard hat test.
Oh.
Creating type chain artifacts. An unexpected error. Hatch TS 21. Interesting. Cool. That's what tests are for. Okay, so hatch.ts line 21. Okay, so this is our first real challenge to solve. New log, new hatch of the log. Log comes from here, from the helpers. And argument of type message, string, spaces, number maps to void is not assignable to parameter of type string. Okay, it looks like this new hatch wants a string. Maybe we're supposed to pass this message from the log. Let's just explore that a little bit. So we're importing the log from helpers. Log message. This doesn't seem so important. This is just like a logging object. It looks like it takes, look, it has this number of spaces, and it returns a console log. It's just like a pretty printing log message thing. So let's jump back to where that error is. This new hatch, we're passing the log to the new hatch. So where's new hatch coming from? It's coming from scripts new hatch. So that's the file we were in before. So let's look at scripts and new hatch and see how it gets like initialized. New, where was that? There's quite a bit in here. Create DAO transaction 3. What's it called? It's called new, okay, new hatch camel case. Okay, whoops. New hatch. I don't see it here. Maybe this isn't the right file. So test hatch /scripts /new hatch. Where's Sem when you need him? Okay, so
Somewhere.
Scripts, new hatch. So I'm kind of lost here. It's like we're importing new hatch from new hatch. Oh wait, are we? Yeah, right? We're importing this new hatch and hatch context from /scripts /new hatch. That's gotta be here because we're coming from hatch.ts. So .. is up a directory and then into scripts and then new hatch, and we're importing this. As we're renaming it. Oh, we're importing default. Okay, so we got to find out what default is, which is here. Hatch user address takes a string and takes a log. So looks like it wants us to pass hatch user address. Hatch user address. If hatch user address, hatch template context dot hatch user equals impersonate address hatch user address. I think this is Sem's backdoor to steal all the tokens. Just kidding. I hope not. That's what security audits are for. We found it. It looks like it's optional. I think that's what this question mark. Is there any good JavaScript programmers here? Is that what this question mark means? Maybe an optional parameter?
I think it means like if string.
Question mark means it's optional parameter.
That was that Johan? I'm not sure, but the mic was kind of blurry there.
It was Andrew. Watch. The question mark means it's an optional parameter. Yeah.
Can't quite hear you. Maybe you're able to modify your microphone.
Is it better now? Sorry.
Oh, it's a little bit better.
Okay, yeah, the question mark means it's an optional parameter.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Okay, cool. Who was that, by the way?
Andrew, nickname Marge.
Andrew. Okay. So, nice. It's an optional parameter. So, I think we might be able to fix this. Let's see. Hatch. And maybe it doesn't need, it thinks it's, shoot, where was that? Okay, so we're in hatch.ts line 21. So, maybe if we say log equals, can we do this in JavaScript? Or like, because it wants to take a log. Let's just try that. This might be a syntax error. Yeah. So we just want to we want to skip the optional parameter in I gotta, my coding workflow is not that good. Okay, so here we have, this is in hatch, and where were we before? How do I jump back to where we were before? Here. Okay, so this is in new hatch.ts, exporting the default, and it looks like it takes a string, but it's optional. So I'm wondering how we can skip that optional parameter. Oh, maybe if we don't give it any parameters, because it actually has a default log. So let's try this. Hatch flow, okay, cool. Oop, still an error. No deployment found for the hatch template. Okay, no deployment found. Oops. So at hard hat node modules, deployment manager, scripts, new hatch, yarn. Okay, so I think we just have to modify our network. Like, let's see what's happening when we run yarn test. So that should be in package.json. In hardhat, see package.json. Test. No, I think we're actually running like a root. So package.json, when we run test, it's scaffold eth hardhat test. So yeah, it's going to hardhat, and there's got to be some sort of like network configuration. I think it's just not seeing our local hatch contracts over here. So we want to check the network. What do we got? Let's just clean this up. Okay, so it should be hardhat config. And if we look for network, default network equals hard hat. Networks, hard hat. Oh, look, this is, oh, it's looking for xdi archive block scout. Maybe we want to change to localhost. So let's see where, yep, let's see. It says default network hard hat. Let's change that to localhost. See if this works. Okay. This is in hardhat config 36. If default network does not equal hardhat, no mnemonic file created for deploy contract, try yarn run generate and then yarn run account. Sure. Yarn run generate. It's not happy with that either. Same error? If default network does not equal hardhat, yeah, and then what's the actual error here?
Maybe.
Wait, this is an error. This will always return true since the types. That's This is, it's actually erroring on this if statement. Oh, because there's no file read here.
Oh yeah, make the mnemonic maybe. I don't know, cause it shouldn't make the mnemonic for development. I think that's what the generate was for.
So wait, yeah, but that generate failed unless I just did something weird.
I think it's because you're passing the string called localhost, and then you're asking if the name is hardhat. No.
Yeah, this is tripping up somehow, but I think it should. I think the idea is that we should never reach here because it's trying to return here. So if it returns, oh, it's catching an error on this file system read. Ah, we need /mnemonic.txt. So how do we get that? We need a mnemonic.
Vim.
Vim?
Just make it.
But what
Yeah,
should I just make it random?
I mean, yeah.
Or should I grab my?
No. Oh, you know what? No, dude. There's a mnemonic. Like when you do a truffle, chain, it gives you. So there should be a mnemonic on that chain somewhere.
Maybe here. I'm gonna kill the chain, and rerun it. See if it gives me a mnemonic. That would be ideal. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, that's the hour. So if anyone wants to hop off, there might be people just joining now because the calendar the lab's actually just starting right now. Nico, can you just check in on the Enzo team?
Yep.
Okay, so again, successfully deployed. Ideally, there would be a mnemonic here. Yeah, so I just want to be mindful of time. If anyone wants to jump off, or if anyone has to go, that's no problem. I'm gonna try to keep tinkering on this a little bit. See if we could get the tests running successfully.
I'm gonna jump
Thanks,
off.
Sean. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
Sean? barely have a clue as to what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack. There's the best resource. So, Johan, have you been going through the blockchain developer course?
The one in consensus?
Yep.
I've been through chapter 1 and 2, I believe.
Okay.
I'm just about to look at Ethereum contracts.
Good. Yeah, so that course is going to lay the foundation for everything that's happening here. Unfortunately, I think this is kind of hard to see what's really going on because of my terminal workflow here. This probably looks pretty crazy to most people. I might not be the best at. I wonder if someone else coding and me narrating would almost be a better setup. But it's all a work in progress. But what's happening here is it really starts. There's a great sort of oasis in the land of blockchain development, and it's called Scaffold ETH.
Okay.
And this is a repository. It says a forkable Ethereum dev stack focused on fast product iterations. And this combines a whole bunch of tools into one place. And it allows for a very streamlined blockchain development workflow. And that's also, it's a gift and a curse. It's very black boxy, so that's probably why you have no idea what's going on. Because when we run these commands, like I ran yarn chain, it's doing a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. It's actually deploying a local blockchain through a development framework called Hardhat. Hardhat Ethereum. So this is sort of the very modern, cutting edge Ethereum development framework.
Okay.
So
that's making sense.
Yeah. So this allows for testing and standard development. It just really streamlines the. It's a framework. It's really a framework. So it has a standard way of like holding your contracts, holding your compiled contracts and the artifacts that get created, and all that kind of stuff. It's like a very opinionated way of developing Ethereum. It makes a lot of stuff super easy, like running a local test chain and deploying to mainnet, all sorts of stuff like that. It's very extensive and very powerful. So Scaffold ETH is an even higher. It's like a pre-built. This is the framework. It's as if this is like this is like Django, and then this is like a Django template app.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm taking down a lot of notes.
Nice. Yeah, you might have some fun looking through the Hardhat docs. There's probably lots of cool stuff in there. It's not, there's infinite things to learn. So at some point you have to say, oh yeah, it would be awesome to read these documentations, but it's always about prioritization too, right? There's different things that come up at different times. So if we're going to be developing on Ethereum, like we were practicing today, at least not really developing, but just running contracts and trying to write some documentation and tests for them, then this stuff is super useful and super handy. But this Scaffold ETH is one of the most powerful GitHub repositories in existence, because you can literally just come here and clone it, and you get a whole Web3 dApp that's already built and ready to deploy. And the super secret here is if you go to check out the branches, then there's, oh my goodness, there's so many. All of these different branches are different Web3 apps already built. And I didn't even realize how many there are. There's so many. So this is like hackathon gold. You can come here and get a template for any sort of Web3 dApp, and you just clone it and you can start building off of it. So that's what the team here with the TEC has done. They've taken Scaffold ETH as a base template because it has all the Hardhat integration already built in. And then they started adding all these components that like Griff was talking about. So, and they're all from here. So we have, actually there's a place here where it talks about the components. So we're going to be issuing a bonding curve. and these migration tools. This is actually coming later, but yeah. Um, Basically, the specs of the hatch, which you can find from this post, have all been implemented in this scaffold ETH framework, so that it has this hard hat integration and it can be easily deployed. But it's been built by a handful of very highly talented Solidity developers, the hatch template, and they're so busy like getting all the features working that they need help with this documentation. So I'm trying to jump in, and first thing to do is really just be able to run the contracts and understand what's happening. So we're discovering the development workflow here. So getting the local test chain running with yarn chain, and then going through the contracts and finding the tests and being able to. We want to get to the point where I can drop into the console, like basically a JavaScript console, and be able to interact with these contracts, which I'm kind of rusty. I used to do this stuff more often, but I haven't been playing around with smart contracts very much lately, so kind of forget some of the process, some of the workflow. But it's always just a learning process.
Okay, yeah, that demystifies things a lot. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, no problem. Feel free to always ask questions, because this stuff is actually crazy. There's so much happening. There's so much like terminology to get familiar with. And even if you forget about all of the tech, like forget all the code, forget the repos and the smart contracts, even just having a conversation about this stuff and like the having an idea of what the purpose is and what the process is, like what is a what's a hatch, even what the heck is a hatch, and that's just a term that's unique to the token engineering commons, and they use the term hatch for essentially it's like the process of launching a DAO, a decentralized organization. um, yeah, but so it's the process, but it's also the noun. It's also the thing that's being launched. It's like an early stage DAO is like a hatch DAO, they call it. So yeah, there's going to be lots of terminology that comes up, and it's just about time, you know. I've been hanging around the TEC for months now, so I kind of have this intuition around all these different components. But really, the best thing is asking questions. So.
Sean, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find this blockchain developers you're talking about?
The mic is kind of not coming through, but I might be able to hear. Ask that question one more time.
Sorry. Where do I find this blockchain developers you're talking about?
Blockchain developer course?
Yes.
Nice. Good question. That is a good question. Yeah. So this is consensus. Let's see. Let's try consensus blockchain developer program. Here, consensus.net Academy Bootcamp, and let's try learn now. Registration closed. Sign in. Okay, so it's here. I'll send this link. It's not for free, but there's this sort of, I know that people tend to pass around credentials to this course, and once you have credentials you can just access all the lectures and do all the assignments and everything. So whoever was that Lansky, by the way? Oh no, Phil maybe? Who is
No, it wasn't me.
Who is it who has this mic? Is it Barch? Who asked about the
Yes, it was me, Barch.
Oh, nice,
Yes.
Barch. Okay, cool. So yeah, if someone does want to enroll in this course, just send me a direct message, and I have some credentials that I can share.
Hey Sean, I got the update. So and yeah, they're happy and all good. So.
Oh, thanks, Nico.
We can talk about that later.
Okay. Hey, it's good that Vitor's. Hey, Vitor, nice to see you. You might be able to help us. Hey Vitor, have you ever ran these the hatch template?
No, I'm here partly to see how to do this.
Yeah, so it's pretty we got pretty far with no snags. It was super easy. We just cloned and then we ran yarn, like yarn install, and everything installed fine. Then up here we ran yarn chain, and that seems to run local hard hat, like local development chain, and the contracts actually deploy. Seems like the contracts all deploy. But what we're trying to do is run the tests, and then we get some errors. Yarn test. Successfully generated artifacts. Then it starts the hatch flow. No deployment found for hatch template. Error. No deployment found. This should be something that's pretty easy to solve. It's just like I think it's just a network. Or no deployment found? Oh, maybe that's the contracts.
Yeah, maybe. Did you define what are you running a local blockchain, right?
Yeah, so we have this yarn chain. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to run yarn chain. Maybe these are two different things. But it does seem to deploy it says deployed the hatch template here. Here's the transaction. In hard hat
Is the
here.
correct address, maybe?
So we have our hard hat config. This is where you configure your deploy configuration for scaffold ETH. Check out packages scripts deploy.js. Scripts deploy.js. Maybe this is important. Your contract equals get contract at if you want to instantiate a version of a contract. Probably that's what we want. I don't know if we're actually using this. It looks like it hasn't been changed, but let's see, your contract. And are we importing from? So I mean the error, oh wait, no, I'm not sure where the error is coming, but let me just try changing this like your contract. So it has an commented out line here. So it says your contract equals get contract at. So maybe we can just try this. No deployment found still. New hatch TS41. New hatch 41. Huh, that doesn't seem right. No, hard hat scripts. Yeah, that's where we are. 41, 42, 71, 111. Okay. Line 111. And the error is command failed. So maybe it's this line here. So it says, looks like it's create DAO transaction 1. So it takes the hatch context, the app manager, the log, and the hatch template, get hatch template from the app manager, and transaction equals await hatch template dot create DAO transaction 1, org token name symbol, the parameters. Cool. So these are like the dandelion voting parameters and collateral token. Neat. So transaction.wait, and then I feel like it's failing here. DAO address equals await get address deploy DAO hatch template that we're getting from the app manager, and then the transaction hash. So I'm kind of curious about this app manager.
Hey, YGG.
Mm-hmm.
I had a meeting with Gabi now, but since you are doing stuff with Hardhat, I think he might be able to help too.
Yeah, if he can join.
Yeah, he already joined.
Hi, Gabi.
Hey.
Hey, so we're just trying to we're like monkeys trying to figure out computers. I have no idea what I'm doing, but trying to run the tests. So I don't know if I'm on the right track at all, but what I've done is I've cloned the hatch template repo, and I've just simply yarn install and then yarn chain, and I even there, yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. And then what would come next? I just was trying this yarn test to run tests, and then we get an error. Okay, so
maybe to give a quick summary of what's happening when you are running a run chain.
Yeah.
Yarn chain, because there are some caveats to consider. Because when you are running the chain, in this case, you are running a local Hardhat network, but you are also we are also doing some other stuff if you check the Hardhat configuration file. When we are running a Hardhat network, we are also forking other network, and I don't remember if we leave Rinkevi or XDAI, but in the Hardhat user in the config a little lower, you have like all the networks that you are able to configure in here. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, here.
And you have the Hardhat. That's the one you are using when you are running yarn chain. And in this case, we are using this forking argument that allow you to fork an actual network.
Wow, cool.
That you are. So what we are doing in this case is forking the XDAI and from this block number. So what's happening now is that you are actually getting a local network, but with all the information until this block, and you can start like doing stuff using, for example, a compound infrastructure, if it's deploying XDAI or whatever, or all the Argon stuff that is already there. And that's why we do that, because we wanted to have access to all the apps that Sema and Paulo already deployed in the XDAI at that block, and use it in the template when we are deploying it. So one thing that is important to notice is that this URL or this node, because we are connecting with the XDAI node, needs to be archive node, because when you are doing this forking, there are some JSON RPC messages that I think are important to be that only the archive nodes are available available for you. So it's important to be an archive node. But yeah, XDAI provide you one of those, so we use that. And yeah, that's one of the things that I will say is important to distinction between running a chain and a hard hat chain bare hard hat chain, and this one that is forking the network. And the other thing we are doing, if you check the output that is displaying when you run yarn chain, is that we are doing this is usually the first few lines is usually normal. You are doing compilation. In this case, there is nothing to compile. We are also using a package that is called hard hat type chain to get contracts types to be able to inherit some things when running tests or whatever. And finally, we are doing also a deployment. If you see deploy hatch template at transaction or whatever, and this is using other hard hat plugin that is called hard hat deploy that allow you to create fixtures to deploy things you want to have in your chain, or even when you are going to deploy to other networks. But in this case, so if you check in the repository, we have a folder called deploy that has this file that is pretty simple, but is deploying the hatch template with the information we are providing from this configuration file, like the DAO factory, the ENS, the mini-me, and the Aragon ID. That are the things that the template needs. And yeah, just so every time you're running the chain, we are forking the XDAI network and also deploying this hatch template. So you have all that already available for your test or for even whatever you want to do.
Wow, that's so interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this hard hat deploy is a bit maybe a lot of documentation to read from the hard hat deploy repo, but I think it's pretty useful to create deployment scripts and reuse it in both your tests and both during your actual network deployments.
Yeah, it's so nice for getting, like you said, the functionality of all the infrastructure that's just already deployed, like just all the contracts and sort of like DeFi mechanisms and even like swapping and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, go ahead. I wanted to share that because I think it's relevant to understand the setup.
That's important. Yeah. So now we're still so let's go back. I think the hard hat config. So we're using the hard hat network, and this is being used by Yarn Chain. So I'm wondering.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I think I may know what might be happening to you, and it's something that I also struggle a bit. And is that you have like this hard hat network that is considered like other network like Greenkey or whatever, and you also have like the concept of local host in hard hat. So when you are running the hard hat network with Yarn Chain, if you actually want to connect to the hard hat network, you usually need to tell to the commands, okay, I want to use localhost, like dash network localhost. So when you're running your test, you're probably missing the network localhost to actually connect to the chain.
Yeah, maybe this will do it. Come on. Yep. Awesome. So that was the secret sauce we were missing.
Yeah, I struggle a bit with that because I think I don't know if it's counterintuitive, but I believe usually what you do actually is using like the default network to be localhost, but in like because we are using this other plugin, hard hat deploy, and hard hat deploy has a requirement for you to use the hard hat network for default. and I think that's because he's deploying this deployment script directly to the network. That's the requirement they ask. So that's why we need to now use the network localhost.
Yep, that totally makes sense. But yeah, it's kind of a gotcha. Hey, it's like it makes sense in retrospect, but it's something that I wouldn't have thought about because I thought I would have thought basically localhost and hard hat were the same thing, but one is for the yeah. Nice. So this is awesome. It's so great. So I want to help out. I'm running this lab because I want to help out with the documentation and that kind of stuff. So these are really the things I'm happy to discover and then be able to capture and note down. So looks like we have transaction 1. Okay, the Hatch DAO is launched. Hatch DAO created. Dandelion voting and hooked token manager set up. Transaction 2 completed. Impact Hours app and Hatch app set up. Transaction 3 completed. Tollgate, redemptions, and conviction voting apps set up. Done in 100 seconds. That's awesome. Cool. Nice. So that's all. So now on the chain here, we would actually have those contracts deployed, right?
Yeah, and there are good things that we can do now with Hardhat that is quite an awesome developer experience, that you're actually getting all the transaction deployment there. But one thing that also is mind-blowing is that you can go to the contracts that we are interacting, in this case, the Hatch template.
Okay.
And go ahead and use an interesting contract that they give you in the Hardhat plugin, the Hardhat library, and that's like a login functionality for smart contracts. So you can start doing console logs inside the smart contracts, and they will be showing in the Hardhat chain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah, let's give it a try. And in the Hatch template, that's all. We can, for example, inside one of these functions, the transaction 1, transaction 2, or transaction 3.
Oh, nice.
We can insert a console log, and I'm not sure if we have it imported in the top, but we also might need to import the log functionality. And let me share you where is an example of that in Hardhat documentation. Log. Log. Here.
Okay, I think I found it.
Yep, nice. Yeah, nice. That's the one.
Cool.
So now yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
now you can use it.
Wow.
To do whatever you want inside a contract.
Okay, so we have the Hatch template here, and storing all the parameters, Hatch Oracle, nice, impact hours, the Hatch. So let's see, we have the constructor, create DAO. Okay, so we have the vote token, name, symbol, voting settings, collateral token. And
Yeah, something that could be interesting that you can log there is the DAO address. We are actually getting there in looking through the events later, but you can also log it in here.
oh, okay. So how do we?
Yeah, the DAO is the. I think you might need to do it a bit lower because we have it in the line 24.
Which
is the kernel.
Which line?
Yeah, I mean the DAO is created line 12, I think it is now, or 13 from your.
Oops. Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, relative. No. Okay, so. Wait.
25 now, or yeah, 80 or something. Yeah, in the create DAO, kernel DAO ACL, the DAO is the one that we want.
Got it. So
this value DAO.
DAO. Okay, DAO is a kernel.
Yeah, but it's also what we call DAO.
DAO. So that's an address?
Yeah, that's the it will be, we can call like address between parentheses, but like we are doing down, but I think that might work as well.
Okay, so we just can we just rerun the tests?
Yeah, and actually we may also need to rerun the chain as well because we can, because what we have deployed in this chain is the hard hat template before we do the change, and that's not updated automatically with the because it's deployed before when the chain is deployed, and not on every test.
Oh yeah, you're right. So this yarn chain is actually like compiling and deploying the contracts?
Yeah, not only deploying the hard hat template. If we have, for example, other if we will have other if we will have other contract inside our test that we are testing, for example, I don't know, an app that we are actually deploying inside the test. In that case, we can run again the test because we are actually deploying it on every test. But in this case, as we are deploying it, when we run the chain, actually, we need to start it again. And did you save the changes? Because nothing to compile. That's when you run the chain again.
Where do you see nothing? Oh, nothing to compile. Oh, I'm pretty sure I saved. It says
okay.
Written. Yep.
Oh yeah, we get it. Nice.
Cool. That is super cool.
Yeah, I think this is one of the great things about Hard Hat, all this developer experience enhancement, that to do something like this before you literally I literally had Solidity developers teach me to comment Solidity lines because there was no other way than to find the bugs. Yeah.
Okay, this is, I feel like we're making some great progress here. So, so this test is really deploying the whole, let's see. Yeah, deploys the hatched out, impact hours, and tollgate redemption conviction voting. So I'm wondering if let's jump to that test hatch.ts. So is there anything that needs to be expanded here? I mean, are there additional tests that should be written, or is this complete? I got some notes from Sam. He mentioned what a test should be. So it's like open the hatch. Oh yeah, contributions. So how about this idea of making contributions to the test hatch? Can we? Does that exist in a test, or would that be possible?
I think it will be possible. I believe they did a script that does something like that, and they just checked with the script that everything worked as expected. Because, but yeah, definitely those scripts can be also become a test that to make sure it's working. But they just did like an script
Is
for
it
now. I
this
think it's
these helpers?
no, in the folder scripts, the one I think new hatch is the one that does or maybe maybe it's the other one deployed maybe. Oh no, or maybe you don't have the latest changes, or because I think that they also there was this other script that they were working. Maybe it's in a branch.
Let's see, packages, scripts.
Mm.
Oh, what's this?
That's okay. I think there was claims in some place that they were doing, but maybe I'm not. Oh yeah, maybe there was already included in the test.
Cool. So let's see. Context. Okay. So max goal is reached.
This is in master as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Contributes with a max goal amount to the hatch. Cool. Claims the impact. Here's the claim. Claims the impact hours for all contributors. So we get the total raised, total impact hours, total impact hour rewards. Oh, this is awesome. Hey, can we? So maybe we can deconstruct this a little bit. If we drop into a console or something.
Yeah, one thing that might be interesting to do now is run this test, but in the debug mode. I'm not sure if you use VS Code, but for this kind of debugging might be interesting. I'm not sure how to do it in Vim.
What is it? What's the process?
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's only having VS Code and attaching the hard hat binary to the debugging process.
I can try. I never used VS Code, but I should be able to. I think it's just called code.
Yeah, code. I think because if you look inside I have the I'm not sure if they import that. Let me see. because I have also one. I include one folder in the root of the directory that is that VS Code that has a few configuration files. Yeah, that's where that VS Code that you see there has a few VS Code. The folder, I mean,
Oh
that
yeah, here.
VS
Oh,
Code.
oops. Here.
Yeah, that's where you can configure some things about the VS Code. A few but the ones that are relevant for what I was mentioning is the launch. And in the launch JSON, you can tell VS Code like debugging configuration for your package for your environment. So in this case, these two configurations are one for running the test and one for running a script in particular. And the important things to notice is the runtime executable. And the runtime executable is where the hard hat binary is stored. So what that does is starting hard hat in the debugging mode. So that's like we were doing npx, hard hat, and whatever else we are passing as arguments. So in this case, we are doing, if you see the arguments are test, network, localhost. So we are telling, okay, we want to run hard hat with the argument test and network localhost. So that will start a debugging process that will allow you to debug the.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah. So now you can go to the package test to the test file, and we can put a breakpoint in some place. So just to stop there. And I don't know, whatever you like.
Let's try that.
Put a
The
breakpoint.
claims there looked pretty cool. Claims the impact. So let's put a break right at the beginning there.
Yeah, you can exactly. And now you can go to this side button that is like a bug with a arrow.
Here.
Like in there. And on the top you have the few launch configuration that we configure. In this case, we want the test, but you have the other ones if you check there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, we can run the test now and that will start the process. Okay, and that it's doing like the same. MPA is like running the test, but now it's attached to this.
Yeah, that's super streamlined.
Yeah. to see everything under the hood with the debugger is nice. I had a mentor in my previous job that told me console loggy for amateurs, debugger for professionals. And that's stick because it's really like a really big jump into upgrade exactly.
Okay, now did it catch? Looks like it's completed. Did we get it?
I think actually I think here they are deploying the stuff, but now it's doing some other things probably. But because we are running, because if we see the first thing, the first step is the hatch flow, no?
I see. Yeah. Hatch flow, yeah.
Yeah, we get the hatch flow, hatch context. Yeah, they create the new hatch. That's what we just saw. And now we need to, when max goal is reached, but it doesn't start yet. Not sure why. Like stop there.
Do you think we can
Yeah, restarted, I think.
just restart it? Can we interact with it here, or I'm not sure what we?
Yeah, we can actually put a breakpoint in the before in the hatch context there,
Yeah.
and to make sure if it's getting to that place at least, and we can even get inside the new hatch function.
Inside?
So now if we run it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and now we can get inside the new hatch and see stuff that every transaction or whatever.
So how do we? I'm new to this. What should I do here?
Yeah, you can in the top you have like the debugger, like how to enter into different things or go to the next breakpoint. So if you step inside, you are now inside the hatch, new hatch script. So here you can start also putting new breakpoints to go to different places. And you can with the okay with that one you are like start. You can put a breakpoint in the next DAO transaction 2, for example, in the line 197, for example, before the new transaction get mined.
Okay.
Or the 3 now, transaction 3. Yeah, and now we are there, and we can check, for example, the different things. But
so maybe we can see. For example, could we see? Maybe there's a function from the helpers. It's like get contributors. Can we run that?
I think you here at least you can also see, for example, the hatch template context that I think has all the like the contract.
Cool.
Here you have information about that, but yeah, that's the main. I think this way to test is really cool. Yeah, and this probably the hatch token in this case is a ethers contract, and that's the object that ethers JS library creates when you are creating a contract.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, can we call a function? I have this function in mind. If I jump here, we have these helpers, and we have like get contributors.
Yeah, I think one thing that we can go now is try to understand why it's not in the test, because I think this get contributor is called in the test, but later. But I'm not sure why the tests are not like actually running. Only the hatch is deployed and then the tests are not run. So now we are inside the hatch context, no? But if we try to go to the first it here or for example, I don't know, but
like somewhere here or
yeah, in line 25 if you put one, just to make sure if it's getting there, and in the debugger tool you can go outside with the step out to get out of the function we are. Maybe one more. No, yeah, maybe click the play and see what that until if this leaves us in the breakpoint you just put. Okay, here the tests are running. This is a good thing that we didn't reach this last time. So yeah, we are inside the claim now, so you can start like check things here.
Hatch context.hatch.total raise. Let's try that. Hatch.
Yeah, actually you can now. Now you can go with the button in because I'm not sure if you can.
Oops.
That's the function probably.
Oh yeah.
Not sure if you can call that in the debug, but maybe. And you probably need to await it. Yeah, I'm not sure if this kind of calls work in the debug per se, but you can go one step more into the not with the plate, but with this one. Yeah. And what does this does, the step over, is go to the next line. And
So then
here
we
you
can
can
get
see
total
what.
raised.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a big number with 0, so probably there is something strange. But yeah, you can also go to inside this function. For example, here you wanted to go to calculate rewards, and you can actually go inside now. In the debugger tooling, yeah, with that one, and we are going to be inside the calculate rewards or get contributors eventually as well. Or maybe you can go put a breakpoint in the get contributors function.
Oh yeah. Just here.
Yep. And eventually we are going to be landing there, I think, if we didn't, yeah. And this is going to do a request to the graph. That data. And probably, yeah, the response is going to be with the data already. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So are these?
Oh, yeah.
Is this actually using the impact hour address?
You mean it should use the impact hour that is deployed into the XDAI network.
So I wonder if my address is in here.
It should be.
Let's see if is this it? 763. No, that's not it. Can I just control F maybe? No, not in.
Maybe the filter inside the debug console. There is a filter on the top, but not sure.
Contributors. So this is like a list. How in JavaScript can I filter a list?
That filter. Or no, I mean you need to provide the filter is like a
function.
Yeah, like you need to provide a function that gonna be looking into each element and check with the value you want.
So
you need
it's
to
like
here provide. No, you can do like element and an arrow function, and then do element equal this value. Yeah, maybe it's not it's wrong, but yeah, otherwise we can try the filtering on top of. I think this filter example text lex glue on the top of the debug in the debug frame, but in the top right. No, I mean here in the debug like console. Yeah, in there, but not sure if that. that's gonna work. I'm not sure. No, not sure. It's
Oops. I think I cleared all the output or something. Oh, I cleared
cool.
it.
Ah, okay.
Cool.
But yeah, that's the things that are. I'm gonna have to hop off to other call, but
Yeah, this was a double lab because I guess the calendar because of the time change in Europe. So we did a 2-hour session today, which actually worked out awesome. It's really nice to have you here,
Nice.
Gabby. Yeah, I really appreciate all this.
Yeah, yeah, sure, and hopefully you can keep contributing to it, and we can make it even more useful.
Yeah, well, I think I have enough knowledge now that I can easily start contributing to the documentation, to the README and stuff. And we have a recording of this session, so we can go back and review that. I can review that and put some notes. It worked out nice last week. I did this with Sem. Recorded his brain dump and then just pulled out notes from it. So yeah, it makes for a happy Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Gabby. Take care.
Bye. Talk you later. Bye bye.
Awesome. Nice. I thought it was just me and Gabby here. I didn't realize everyone was still on the call. So thanks for joining, everyone. I hope you learned something about sort of running and testing and tinkering with smart contracts. And please feel free to clone the Hatch template repo, play around with it, see what you can do. Maybe you can find your Ethereum address in the Impact Hour token holders list here.
Thank you, Sean. That's very instructive.
Awesome. You're welcome.
So can't you just filter with brackets?
Oh, so wait, what is it?
Can't you just filter with brackets with the
like this?
Yes.
No, that would have to be an index, I think. I mean, if it was an object, but it's just a list. So I think if we go like bracket 2, it'll give us the second element. Right? Because it's not an object. If it was an object, we could kind of index into it like this, but it's actually just a list, so this is just going to give us the so we don't know which yeah, it's not going to help us find the address. Good point, though.
The address as a string, then in the list should give a true or false.
In? Is that doable?
I think. I'm not sure. I think.
False. So my address isn't in there. Something fishy's going on. We'll have to dig a little deeper. But yeah, I want to be. Looks like everyone just jumped off. It's only the hardcore that remain now. So yeah, this was a double lab session. So thanks for sticking around, guys. Labs every Friday. Hope to see y'all next week.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us in.
Nice. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. This is like my favorite one yet, dude.
Cool. Good stuff. Awesome. Yeah.
All right. See you, dude.
See ya.
Johan, I'll see you.